There you go.
Oh, you started with a bad chord, Matthew. Just fix it.
Some lovely music as we all gathered here tonight. As we all come in. We've still got a couple joining. Hello, everybody. Oh, everybody's in now.
Hello, Mary Shanks. Nice to see you, friends.
Look at the various Shanks. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Who are those friends? All right.
For those of you that have attended Anderson's events in the past, it is okay to have your cameras and microphones on tonight. But you don't have to. So if you'd like to, go ahead and put them on. Our authors tonight are very excited to see all your faces, which is so fun.
We derive life force from your beaming smiles, friends. So please nourish us.
We might tell you to turn your microphones off at some point.
Oh, is that?
Oh, yes. Actually, maybe I should say that. Microphones off, cameras on. Let's go with that. As you can see, our authors tonight are very fun. We're so excited to have them here.
Whoa.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Carrie. I'm from the Anderson's events team. I want to welcome you to our event with Matthew Swanson and Robbi Behr. Thank you all for being here so much tonight. The Anderson's family has been selling books independently since 1875.
Wow.
So we've made it through some tough times. We made it through the last pandemic. We're going to make it through this one. It's just really tough going out there right now. So your purchase of the book through us and your support of Anderson's by being here tonight, it just allows us to remain in business right now. And we are truly grateful to all of you for sticking with us as we moved into this virtual format for events over the last year. And can you believe I can say it's been a year now? Wow. A couple of things about tonight before we get started. As mentioned previously, it's okay to have your cameras on right now. Please keep your microphones off. If you'd like to ask questions, yay, questions, we will have a Q&A session at the end. So you can submit questions through the chat, and then I will kind of compile them and feed them to the authors, and we'll try to get through as many as we can at the end of our event after they're done presenting. And I beg of you to please submit questions. It just makes the event so much more fun. And for some reason in this virtual format, people tend to be a little more shy. So just pretend we're in person and ask all your amazing questions that you guys always have. If you ordered a book for tonight, please know that you'll receive an email when your books are either ready to be picked up at our store, if that was the option you chose, or you'll get an email when they've been shipped out to you. If you have not ordered your book for tonight, or you'd like to buy another signed copy, and remember that signed copies make awesome gifts, especially for birthday parties. I'm just going to put it out there. I will be putting info on how to order more books through Anderson's in the chat link, or in the chat tonight. Okay. All the good stuff's out of the way, or the bad stuff's out of the way. Now we're moving into the good stuff. We are here tonight with Matthew Swanson and Robbi Behr. They are the husband-wife, author-illustrator team behind The Real McCoys, Babies Ruin Everything and Everywhere, Wonder, from Imprint Books. Until recently, they also ran two small presses, Bobbly Books and Idiots Books. These days, they spend most of their time making books and raising 4 kids during a pandemic. That there ought to be a trophy. In the hayloft of an old barn in Chesterton, Maryland. They spend the rest of their time speaking, teaching, and leading workshops on collaboration and creative entrepreneurship, and the rest of their time running a commercial salmon fishing operation, of course, on the Alaskan tundra. Because, just normal stuff. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to them. You guys are in for such a treat tonight, and I really hope you enjoy. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. You let us know if we do anything wrong, and we will try to correct the many problems we're certain to cause along the way.
There's going to be no problems. This is going to be smooth sailing, you guys.
We'll do our best.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's very nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us tonight.
One thing I do want to say before we start.
What?
We're going to try to squeeze in a drawing tutorial at the end of this.
Yes.
So, yell to whoever's in the next room, be like, bring me a piece of paper and a pencil.
Something to write with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something to draw.
You don't
with.
have to do it in a hoarse voice like that. It's just more exciting if you do it in a hoarse voice like that.
They'll move faster if you say it angry.
Robbi also is going to wave chopsticks at you at a certain. Our camera is backwards, Robbi. Is there anything you can do about that?
Are these backwards?
Yeah, they are. They are. Look, the first technical difficulty.
Hold on.
We're going to teach you things.
Don't look at anything.
Oh, they're getting dizzy. They're getting vertiginous. Oh, now they can see themselves. All right, you fixed it. All right, friends, we're going to do a presentation. We're going to sing a song. We're going to learn how to draw a dog named Coco. We're going to read
a dog named Dumbles.
Oh, excuse me.
Ha!
There we go. Like or as. These
All
are
right.
chopsticks, which are somewhat on
No,
theme.
that's backwards for you guys.
Oh, it is?
It was right ways before. It's backwards for us. Okay.
All right.
It is backwards for us now. It was right before.
Oh,
guys.
Well, see, we have to cause the problems before we can solve them and delight you. All right,
True. And we got a tour of your kitchen in the process, so it was fun.
All right.
Nobody
Robbie,
looked at anything.
Let's dive right into
All
the
right, we're
presentation
going to
before
dive
we
into-
make any more mistakes.
Okay, but now I'm
All
going to share the screen.
All right.
Everybody,
Cross your fingers, friends.
cross your fingers.
Here we
Let's
go.
hope this works. All right, that part is done, and
All
then
right.
I have to do this
And
part.
now we have the beautiful mountain
and then-
islands.
Okay,
and-
that's not
All
our
right.
kitchen.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, friends.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Robbi Behr, and I am an illustrator, which means I draw the pictures.
And my name is Matthew Swanson. I sit on the other side of the room and I write the words. I'm a writer.
Yes, and today
Yes.
we shall be talking about the new series, The Cookie Chronicles.
All right. These books are about a boy named Ben Yokoyama who takes the fortunes he reads in fortune cookies extremely seriously, way too seriously.
Yes, but before we go into all that,
Yes.
we need to tell you a little bit more about ourselves.
Very important biographical
Yep.
information, providing critical context for all that
In
follows.
spite of the fact that Carrie did quite a good job covering
Yeah.
all the bases.
She scooped all our news,
Yeah.
you guys.
All right.
We're married.
Yeah.
Yes.
For your information,
Yes.
do not feel obligated to marry the person who writes the books that you illustrate.
It's not a requirement.
Right? In fact, maybe not, maybe ill-advised.
Another
Yeah.
thing I would not necessarily recommend, although
Yeah.
we roll with it,
Yeah.
is the having of 4 children.
Yes, we
It's
do
a
have those.
dangerous game, my friends. There's so many of them all the time. Another thing that we don't necessarily recommend,
Yeah, but I
But-
mean, if you do it, you just kind of gotta roll with it.
yes,
right?
is
Yes. Well, one thing we do recommend
yes,
is getting a dog.
yes.
This is our dog named Dumbles.
This is Dumbles, and Dumbles is the dog you're going to learn how to draw later, and he's a character in Cookie Chronicles.
Okay.
So he's multiple feet. What?
I want to give you the truth.
Yes,
The Dumbles in the book came first.
yes, that's true.
Then we got this Dumbles
Yes,
as a
as a terrible, tragic mistake.
as a COVID dog.
Yes.
And then this Dumbles does not look like the Dumbles that's in the book. You're going to learn how to draw the Dumbles that's in the book.
You're
All
going to
right?
love all the Dumbles that you
Yeah,
encounter. All right.
But don't be disappointed. The Dumbles in the book does not look like this Dumbles.
All right. We live in a barn, friends. This
Yes,
is
we do.
another strange thing about marrying Robbie. You have to be a fisherman and you have to live in a barn
Mhm.
in the middle of a town. We live in the hayloft of the barn.
Yes.
Let us zoom inside the
All
hayloft.
right. This
and-
is our well, this is my studio
Yes, this-
now. This is the room that we're currently in.
here we are.
Boop, 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 boop.
It is not full of glorious lights because it is
yes,
night.
because it's nighttime here.
Robbie, let's zoom in on your desk.
Oh, there's my desk.
All right.
Look how there's a lot of stuff on my desk. Here's the thing. I have many monitors. One of them is a tablet. You can see me writing on it. That's what I will be doing my drawing demonstration from later on when you guys learn how to draw Dumbles.
Robbie has so many screens because she's doing so many things at once, you
Mhm.
guys. So
Mhm.
moving on about 15 feet in that direction, this
Yes.
is my office. All right. I also have 2 computers because I have a writing job and I write books with Robbie. So I write all day long in different ways. The bottom line for this presentation is that there's
Yes.
2 of us, we do
Yes.
different things, and we work together all the time. For the
Yes.
past 15 years, we've been working together basically 99% of the time, making books, making posters, making murals, making all sorts of things. Tonight, we're going to talk about some books that we've made recently called Cookie Chronicles. All right, that's why we're all
These
here.
are the books we're talking about.
The question that I get almost always, first question at assemblies, at presentations is, where do you get your ideas
Yes.
for these books? I'm going to tell you before you even have a chance to ask.
Mhm.
I get my ideas for any books, friends, by sitting down and moving my fingers in rapid progression on the
Moving-
keyboard.
I was going to say moving them to
I
type
move them in
words.
purposeful ways.
Yeah.
But the point is, I don't usually know what I'm writing
No.
about before I start writing.
Mm-mm.
The ideas come out of the writing process. So I
Yes.
have one piece of creative advice to all of you. If you're interested in writing, if you're interested in making stuff, don't think, just write.
Mhm.
Okay. Don't think, just write. Sometimes the thinking part gets in the way. If you want to write something, just start writing and see what happens. So one day I sat down when I was not thinking and I was just writing and I wrote this stirring paragraph. All right. Robbie, please,
I'm going to read this
please
paragraph
read
to
the
you.
paragraph.
Stan ate so many noodles
Hmm,
because he loved noodles, and the noodles were there, and no one said he could not
that
eat
is
them.
great logic.
After the noodles, he ate fried dumplings and
Mm.
wonton soup.
Mhm.
After the soup, he picked up a fortune cookie.
Okay, friends. So at the time that I wrote this
Guys,
paragraph,
that was it. That was it.
I didn't think it was terribly interesting.
Because it wasn't.
I didn't think it was a great gripping story.
Because it
A
wasn't.
guy eats some noodles and picks up a cookie. So
Mm.
I closed my computer and I forgot about it for 6 months. Just forgot about it.
Well, thankfully, he didn't forget about it forever.
No, about 6 months later,
Mhm.
I needed something to work on. I needed some ideas. And I said, that cookie paragraph. So I wondered if maybe there was the faintest hint of something there that I could dig out, not in the noodle eating part, but in that last sentence. After the soup, he picked up a fortune cookie.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So it turns out this little tiny sentence has a lot of stuff you can ask about it, right? What was the fortune that was in the fortune cookie? Was it one of those super weird ones that doesn't make a whole lot of sense? Or was it one of those ones that turns out to be really very wise and interesting and can change your life? How might that for reading that fortune affect Stan? Was he excited to read it? Was he worried? Or was he totally dismissive? Did he not think about it?
There were so many questions in my head. And so I picked it up and I kept writing and saw what might happen next. And eventually I stopped thinking. I just kept writing. What happened was that Stan turned into Ben. I don't know why. His name is now Ben. Ben is still a kid. Ben still loves noodles, probably because I love noodles so much. And at the
many noodles.
At the end of his meal, Ben still picks up a fortune cookie. All right. This time, after he picks it up, he opens it. And this time I had the idea that turned a boring paragraph into an entire book series. And the question is this: what happens if you read a fortune and you take it way too seriously?
Right.
So as it turns out, Ben Yokoyama is a lot like me.
What? Matthew wrote a book all about himself?
Ben is a literal-minded guy. He takes words at face value. He's earnest and he takes things really seriously, just like I do. All right, there you go.
Matthew. And so fortune cookie fortunes can be really confusing because they are almost never literal.
No.
Right? They're short little sayings that try to explain really complicated ideas in a tiny little sentence that's going to fit on a tiny little slip of paper that's inside of a cookie.
There is a word for the type of phrase that fortune cookie fortunes are. And this is an important word if you don't know it. They're called proverbs. Okay, what is a proverb, Robbi?
Okay, so proverbs are short sayings that give advice or express truth.
And here's the thing about proverbs. Proverbs usually aren't written in a literal way. They use figurative language, metaphorical language, which means...
Okay, so you guys, some of you might have learned about similes and metaphors in school already, but if not, we're going to try to explain to you similes and metaphors. So similes and metaphors are figurative language. Now, similes are the ones where you use the words like or as.
Robbi is as lovely as a dewy, sun-filled morning, right?
Okay.
Matthew is like a bodybuilder in his extraordinary physical strength.
What you learn about Matthew there is that he's not actually a bodybuilder with extraordinary physical strength.
He's like
just like one.
Right.
All right.
So let's give some examples.
Yes.
Right?
So what figurative language does is it puts a picture in your head that makes it easier to imagine what someone is saying.
For example, Jenny had long blonde hair is literal language. It's saying things as they actually are. It puts in your head a picture of a girl named Jenny with long blonde hair.
Yes. So here's Jenny with her long blonde hair.
Lovely. Just lovely, Robbi. Good work.
Thank you.
But what if Jenny's hair was a flowing golden river?
Oh my goodness. Now that is a metaphor. Was Jenny's hair actually a river?
Nope.
Was it actually flowing?
Not actually.
No. But the picture it puts in your head gives you a much more vivid idea of what kind of hair Jenny had. Her beautiful flowing hair.
Lovely, Robbi.
Right. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, that metaphor doesn't really make her look that different.
But what if the writer got feisty and wrote instead, Jenny's hair was a ratty old nest? Now, suddenly,
this picture of Jenny in your head probably looks a lot different. And maybe this messy hair tells us something about Jenny that just saying that she had long blonde hair doesn't tell us.
Is it telling us that she has actual rats in her hair?
Oh my goodness. I hope not.
No.
I hope not.
What is it telling us?
It's telling us that she's the kind of person who has messy hair.
So this would turn it into an entirely different story. The point is sometimes figurative language tells us a lot more about a person or a thing or a situation than just saying it in a straightforward way would. And by using figurative language, Proverbs allow a writer like me to fit more information into a small package and just put pictures right into your head.
Yes.
It's like a superpower for writers.
Yes.
So
getting back to our friend Ben, in every book in the series, he gets a new fortune.
Right.
So the fortune that he gets in book 1, the Cookie of Doom, is live each day as if it were your last.
Okay, so Ben, being a literal-minded guy like Matthew Swanson, actually believes it's his last day.
Oh dear.
And that he has to do all the things he's always wanted to do before the clock strikes midnight. But there are so many things he wants to do with his life.
Right, so it starts off very logically by making a list of all the things.
All right, so there's some simple things on the list and there's some really complicated things on the list. Ben starts with the simple. Why not? Start with the simple.
All right, so the first thing was eat a piece of cake.
Right.
That's pretty easy, right? But it turns out that the cake that Ben eats is the last piece of cake from his parents' wedding cake, and they were saving it to eat on their anniversary. So Ben gets in big trouble with his mom when she finds out that he ate it. It causes all kinds of trouble.
And this sets the whole action for the
Yes.
entire book. At a certain point, he's always wanted to jump over his neighbor's very perfect prize-winning hedge.
Yes.
And so he runs and he runs and he thinks he can do it. But in the process, he accidentally spills bright blue paint all over his neighbor's really grouchy cat. All right. So problems result when Ben tries to follow his dreams.
Yes.
What else happens? He and his mom manage to get a replacement cake. In order to sneak it to the house, Ben has to fake an injury to distract his dad while his mom hides the cake. So on and so on. Ben creates new problems. And for a while, it seems like his last day is also going to be his worst day.
Oh no, hijinks. All right. I'm going to give you all a bit of a spoiler. If you
Okay.
haven't read the book already, this is what happens
Okay.
when you come to Anderson's for the
You
book
get
talk.
inside scoop.
You get inside scoop.
What is it, Robbi?
What happens at the end of the book, Matthew? Guess what happens?
Well, what doesn't happen, Robbi?
Well, it turns out that it is not Ben's last day.
No, this is
all
the
right?
first book in a series, you guys. We can't kill off Ben in the first
no,
book.
that would be bad.
No.
We couldn't. I mean, maybe he could be a zombie.
Ben the zombie boy
Ben
eating
the zombie
cookies?
boy eating
No,
fortune
that's
cookies.
not how it is.
Yeah.
No.
So even though the fortune read, live each day as if it were your last, he survives.
Woohoo!
Thank goodness. Yes, he survives for the rest of the series.
So what does the fortune actually mean then? We think it's trying to remind us that we should live our lives as fully as we can every day.
Right. It means that life is precious and that you should be sure not to waste it.
But that's not very interesting, and that's sort of clunky. That's a lot of words to say, right?
Yes, it's not quite as snippy. It doesn't put quite as vivid of a picture in your head as telling you to live each day as if you were actually going to die. Right?
So Proverbs should be memorable. And in Ben's case, the dramatic language really works for him. Even though he's confused about what the fortune actually means, because he takes it so seriously and because he thinks he's actually going to die, he ends up doing a few things that weren't on his list at all.
Yes.
Right? Like
giving his best friend Janet a truly terrible haircut.
you're gonna have to read the book to see how bad the haircut is.
You're gonna have to look at
okay?
the pictures to
All
see
right.
how bad the haircut is. I'm quite proud of myself for giving Janet a truly terrible haircut.
It's an abominable haircut. All right. He also makes a cake with his mom. His mom is a terrible cook. The cake they make turns out terribly. It smells like sweaty socks, but making the cake was a really nice thing for them two together.
Yes,
So-
she's not a great baker. So
No, that's
this
an
was
understatement.
This
Robbi.
was a tough challenge for them to meet together.
He also plays catch with his dad. It was super meaningful. All of these things mean a lot to Ben, and he never would have done them unless he thought it was actually his last day.
Yes. So weirdly and luckily, Ben's misunderstandings actually end up working out for
There
him.
you go. That's what it.
Yes.
That's because it's a book. Okay.
Because it's not real life.
In book 2, Ben gets a new fortune, the cookie of endless waiting. And this time his fortune is good things come to those who wait. Okay. So you guys know what you think that means. Ben thinks it means he's going to get the things he wants if he waits. And so he immediately knows the good things he wants: a mustache, a new scooter, a baby brother, and the ability to fly.
Okay, but Ben thinks he's only going to get these things if he waits and does nothing, right? So he stops doing his homework, he stops doing his chores, he decides that he doesn't need to apologize to his best friend Janet because none of those things is just waiting.
So how do you think this is going to work out for friends? What do you think, guys? This is going to work? Let's look at the things that Ben wants again. He wants a mustache. Is not doing his homework and chores and refusing to apologize to Janet going to help him get a mustache sooner?
No. Nothing's going to rush that mustache,
No.
right? No matter what he does or doesn't do, it's going to take a lot of time and patience for that mustache to come in.
Okay, so he also wants a new scooter. Will waiting help him get it?
No, in fact, his parents had told him that they'll get him a scooter if he does his chores for a whole month. So waiting just puts him farther away from his goal.
Ben wants a little brother. Surely refusing to do his chores and homework will help on this front.
No. Guess what? This isn't up to Ben at all. It's not his choice. It's up to his parents.
You guys can't rush your parents on this front.
Nope.
It's their decision, friends. All right. Ben wants the ability to fly. Does waiting help?
No. You know what? This one's actually physically impossible. No matter how long he waits, he's not going to be able to fly.
Ben's interpretation of his fortune doesn't actually get him any closer to the things he wants. So where's he going wrong? Let's read the fortune itself again.
All right.
Good things come to those who wait.
Right. Ben is focused on the waiting part, but what if we focus on the good things part instead?
What are the really good things in life?
Right. So how about friendship? That's one that Ben discovers in Janet, right? It takes a long time to build a friendship. It takes time to really get to know the other person and to establish trust with the other
And
person.
sometimes friendship is really hard, right? And it takes a lot of doing, showing up, being honest.
And apologizing when you need to.
Right.
Mhm.
How about just growing up in general? That's a good thing, right? It's
I
kind of the point of
mean-
life.
I mean, some people could argue that it's not the best thing.
All right. It is the point of life. Do not send these kids on the wrong path, Robbi.
Growing up is all right.
You guys are going to be adults eventually with your own lives and jobs and houses and maybe even your own mustaches.
Aha.
All right. And all of that takes a lot of time. But in the meantime, you're not just sitting around on the couch waiting to become a grown-up,
No,
right?
you're also doing a lot of stuff along the way.
Yeah.
So we think that the fortune really means the good things in life take a long time to develop, but the patience is worth it.
Oh, but that's so many words. That's not short
my
and
gosh.
mineral and
No,
snappy
no.
and metaphorical. That's not a proverb. For me, a thing that can take a long time is writing a book. I have to wait for the book to become as good as it can be. No matter how hard I try, it doesn't happen all at once.
Right. Remember how this whole journey with Ben and his fortune cookies started
The-
with this paragraph about Stan.
The first time I tried to write this story, it didn't work. I wasn't ready. It wasn't that interesting. It wasn't a complete idea at the time. I had to wait 6 months.
Yes, but when you came back to it later,
Right.
it set off this spark that ended up being the idea for the whole book series.
So here's an important tip for all you guys, because I know all you guys are creators in your hearts, okay? Whether you're writing a book or painting a mural or designing a race car, sometimes leaving an idea or a project alone for a while lets your brain come back to it fresh later on. So if you're ever especially frustrated with a project or think it's no good, don't just give up and throw it away.
Yes, hold on to it, come back to it later, because there might be some great idea hidden inside of there that you just didn't see the first time around.
Right, but if you keep at it, and if you're patient,
The good thing will eventually show up.
right. So once the good thing that was the idea behind the Cookie Chronicles series finally came to us, we realized we could extend it as long as we wanted to because there are so many fortune cookies.
Oh my gosh, you guys, so many.
Which is lucky because so far, you guys, there's going to be at least 5 books in this series. All right. The first 2 books came out last week. Book 3 comes out in December. Book 4, 9 months after that. Book 5, 9 months after that. I'm about to start writing book 5, and Robbi is.
I'm about to start illustrating book 4, right?
All right.
Oh my goodness.
So fortunately,
All right.
tons of proverbs. People
Yes.
use them all the time, and they're so common that it's really helpful just to know what they mean. It's like learning new vocabulary words. The more of them you know, the more sense the world will make. So,
And they're all sort of figurative language.
Yeah.
It helps for you to sort of train yourself to think in a different way of speaking or writing,
and
right?
sometimes you need to have them explained to you.
Yes.
They're sometimes very confusing.
Yeah.
So,
So,
what-
we're going to share a few of our favorites.
heck yeah, we are.
All right. First off, the early bird gets the worm.
Okay, so Robbi, is this literal language?
No, this one's not about birds or worms at all. It means that if you show up first, you're more likely to get the thing that you want.
But that's, again, not very interesting. That's so clunky. If you show up first, you're not gonna do it. Who wants to hear that? It's super long. The proverb says the same thing in quicker, more vivid way
Yes.
by building on something we already know and understand, which is that birds like to eat worms.
Right. The early bird gets the worm, puts a picture in your head, which makes it easier to remember.
This might not be the picture that you wanted to see. I apologize. Robbi draws what she wants to, and she
Oh my
doesn't ask
gosh,
my opinions
you guys,
first.
I love this picture. I'm
Please
sorry.
move on to another proverb, Robbi.
All right, here's another proverb.
All right, yes.
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
This one is literal, right?
No.
No, it's not really about food at all.
Mm.
This is about realizing we have a limited amount of time or energy and not overdoing it.
All right. By making this point in terms of having too much in your mouth, it's easier to picture and to relate to.
Yes, right. For example, Robbi often bites off more than she can chew. She actually literally does. She likes ice cream so much.
This is a perfectly reasonable amount of ice cream, not a good demonstration of this proverb.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
All right.
All right. So here's another one.
Yes.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This
Right.
one's a little tricky.
This is a little tricky because what the heck is a beholder? And
Yes.
we're just going to tell you a beholder is someone who looks at someone else. Right now,
Yes.
I am beholding
Matthew's
Robbi.
beholding me.
Oh.
It doesn't have to do with holding anyone.
Right. This is holding Robbi,
Yes.
and this is beholding
Beholding.
Robbi. All right. So that there's a difference there.
Yes. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder means that whoever's looking is the one who gets to decide whether they think something is beautiful or not, right? People and places and pieces of art are not beautiful or ugly. Beautiful and ugly are matters of opinion.
Just like how you feel about books is a matter of opinion.
Yes.
How you feel about anything is a matter of opinion.
Yes. And no one can tell you that you're wrong.
That's right.
Your opinions belong to you.
It means that you get to decide whether you think something is beautiful or not.
Yes.
Okay. So, for example, you get to decide whether this tree covered with dry, dead, hairy poison ivy vines is beautiful.
I think it's beautiful. That's why I took a picture of it, Matthew.
It makes me feel itchy and creepy inside, Robbi.
Well, I am
We
sorry.
disagree on the beauty of it.
I believe that it is beautiful.
I'm beholding it from a distance.
Correct.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
All right. If you're going to take the lesson from here, there's no right answer. We're both right.
Okay.
All right. You can also decide.
You get to decide whether you think this painting is beautiful. It's called The Multiplication of the Arcs, and it's by a painter named Yves Tanguy. And I won't tell you how I feel about it. Robbi, how do you feel about it?
I'm going to tell you that this makes me feel itchy inside. I cannot stand this painting, and I don't want to look at it any longer than I have
This
to.
painting makes me feel calm and peaceful. I wish I could spend my day living in this space.
It makes me feel like I have poison ivy growing inside of my guts.
So we have completely different opinions. Both opinions are right. We are beholders, and the beauty in our eye is totally legit. Same with you guys. All right.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Robbi.
All right. Moving on.
Yes.
All right. 2 heads are better than 1.
This one would literally drive Ben Yokoyama crazy. He would try as hard as he could to figure out how to get an extra head because it would be better.
All right. But this actually is a metaphor about the way that Matthew and I work together.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. Robbi's an illustrator. By using what's inside both of our heads, by using our complementary talents, we're able to do so many more things than we'd be able to do on our own. Without Robbi, this book would only have words and it wouldn't be nearly as cool. Without me, it would just be words.
I wouldn't have anything to draw.
All right.
Yeah. Just like how Ben and his best friend Janet work together to figure out what their fortune really means.
So putting our 2 heads together is our superpower.
Yes. And it's a superpower that you all can tap into.
All right. Here's another proverb I like. I'm not sure if you've heard it before or how well known it even is, but it's important to me. It helps me get through every single day. All right. Undies first, pants second.
Come on now. If anybody's taking notes here, I see some people being very studious.
This
is not an actual proverb. Also, it's literal, right? You do have to put your undies on first.
It is an actual proverb, Robbi. Okay. It's a proverb because I wrote it. I'm a proverb writer because I say I am. Just like any of you can be. If you want to write proverbs, you can write proverbs. Nobody can tell you not to write proverbs. Don't let Robbi keep you down. I'm going to behold you with some skeptical eyes. Also, this proverb isn't literal, friends.
It's not.
It's about doing things in the right, the importance of doing things in the right order. It could also be written as socks before shoes, right?
All right. Well, I see your point.
Thank you.
Because you also have to put your socks on before your shoes.
Exactly.
And you're right that it doesn't put quite the great picture in your head as the undies one does.
That's right. They're never going to forget the undies one.
Yeah.
All right. I rest my case. The point is,
all right,
my proverb is great. And you guys can write your own proverbs, make the world richer, introduce new metaphors. Okay.
The other point is, if you guys don't think it's great, it's in the eye of the beholder. So you are welcome to think this is a terrible proverb.
They think it's great.
All
I
right.
know they do. All right.
Here's one more that is rather
relevant, apropos.
Yes, apropos.
Yes.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay, so once again, even though we're talking about books tonight, this is not literal.
Yes, this one is not about books at all.
Shout out to the real McCoys. Yes. Woo, woo. All right. What this proverb really means is don't judge a person by how they look on the outside.
Yes, you have to read their insides first for a while, get to know them before you decide if you like them or not.
To a certain extent, we do hope that you judge our books by their cover because we really, really like them.
I know. We absolutely want you to judge our books by their cover.
But we
spent
also
a lot of time making these look good.
We want you to also judge them by their insides.
Oh, yes,
okay?
true.
All right. So look at their beauty if you see them with your beholdering eyes, and then please read them. So a few things we want to leave you with.
Yes.
What we said at the beginning, anyone here can be an author and illustrator. All of you guys, if you have some story you want to tell, if you have a drawing you want to make, if you have something you want to invent, just do it. Just do it. You have to decide to do it. Before we started making books like Cookie Chronicles with a big publishing company, we made these books here. We made about 70 books ourselves, just by ourselves, for ourselves.
Nobody told us what we could or couldn't make. We made these books because we wanted to. We made them by hand on our dining room table.
And we want you to remember that you can too, and no one can stop you. If you want to make stuff, do it, guys.
Yes.
Do it.
We also want you guys to look around at the world and discover things that you find interesting and beautiful.
Even if they aren't the same things other people find beautiful.
Yes.
Even if they make other people feel itchy inside. If they bring you alive,
yes.
do them.
Yes.
Yes.
We want you to use your experiences to write stories or draw pictures.
Because
all
every
right?
single experience you have, no matter how ordinary, has a
Yes.
story hidden inside of
Yes.
it. Okay?
We want you to live each day as if it were your last.
Because that will make each day the best day that it can be.
We want you to remember that some good things come from waiting and patience.
But some things you just have to do.
Yes, if you want to write a book or make some art or
Don't wait.
invent a blueberry muffin.
Don't wait.
Yes.
Do it now.
Yes. But remember that it might take a while for it to become whatever you want it to be.
You
right?
will get there eventually. You will
Yes.
grow up eventually. You can have a
Yes.
mustache eventually if you are mustache eligible. Nobody gets it perfect the first time around, not even the pros. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of this book,
Yes.
we would like to read a little bit of it
All
to
right.
you to entice and dazzle you with the prose and Robbi's illustrations. I want to give a shout out to Catherine, our editor, who's on this Zoom tonight,
Yes.
who is largely responsible for making this book not bad.
Yes.
She was.
I think April might be on here too, who's also
Are you serious?
responsible
Hello,
for
April, if
making
you're
it
here.
beautiful.
All right. So we worked with some really smart, amazing people to make these books.
Yes.
Our names are on the cover. Dozens of people were involved to make these
Yes.
books. So
Yes.
we are lucky to get to work with them. All right, here we go. We're going to dive right in, read a little bit of Ben Yokoyama and the Cookie of Doom, Chapter 1.
Wait,
What?
I just want to point out,
Oh,
everyone,
What?
look at all these darn
Oh,
noodles I
This is
had
the
to
part where
draw.
Robbi tells us how long it took
I
to draw all the
just
noodles.
want you all to know,
Hmm.
Matthew could have written about a guy who liked
No.
pancakes
No.
or a guy who liked
No.
porridge.
No, he's a noodle man, Robbi.
Mhm.
Let me read this. You're going to learn in just a second that Ben Yokoyama is a noodle man. You know why? Ben Yokoyama loved noodles the most, Robbi.
Mm-hmm.
He loved them more than cheesecake, French toast, and kiwi fruit, which he loved almost the most. He loved spaghetti noodles and udon noodles and tiny noodles shaped like stars. He loved thin noodles and wide noodles and round noodles and flat noodles. He loved any food with noodle in its name. Ben was a noodle man, Robbi. Are you ready to order? Asked his Aunt Nora, looking up from her phone. Ben was not ready to order. He'd never been to a Chinese restaurant. There were so many options. His parents preferred the Japanese restaurant, but they were home paying 3 months of bills all at once. Nora was in charge tonight. Do they have noodles? Ben asked. Yes, they have noodles, said Nora, like her brain was on one planet and her mouth was on another. There, she said, pointing to the part of the menu that said noodles. Aunt Nora had long fake fingernails on top of her regular ones. They tapped against her phone like rain on a roof. Ben wondered how hard it would be to open jars with fingernails like that. He read the list of noodle dishes. Chow mein, lo mein, dan dan, chow fun? Ben wanted to eat a noodle that was fun. Once he had decided what to order, Ben thought about what to do next. He considered writing a limerick or whistling Clair de Lune or folding his placemat into an origami elephant. But there was no rush. Ben was only 8 years old. He had a whole wide lifetime to do these things. So instead, he sat patiently while Aunt Nora used her phone to take a picture of her menu. By the time the waiter came, Ben had forgotten the name of the fun-sounding noodle, and he couldn't find it again in the ocean of options. 2 orders of lo mein, said Aunt Nora. And then she went back to fiddling with her phone and not talking to Ben. He didn't mind. The TV over her shoulder was showing great mountains of noodles being born inside a noodle factory. It made the waiting difficult. When the actual noodles came, Ben ate them like a flame meets a piece of paper when you throw it in the fireplace. Lo mein wasn't particularly fun, but it sure was delicious. Nora ate 6 noodles. Ben knew because he counted. He couldn't understand it. Are you going to eat the rest of your noodles? Asked Ben, once his noodles were gone. But Aunt Nora didn't hear him. She was busy taking a picture of her fingernails. Ben felt sorry for Nora's noodles, sitting there unloved. Here, he said to the noodles, I'll make you feel better. Ben took Nora's plate and ate her noodles like an anteater eats ants. He was sad, but his stomach was not infinite. The waiter took their plates away and brought a tiny tray that held 2 little lumps wrapped in plastic. They looked like dried out ravioli, which was another kind of noodle Ben loved. What are they? He asked. Fortune cookies, said Aunt Nora. They're full of wisdom. Ben was a big fan of wisdom. Nora split her cookie in two, pulled out a tiny strip of paper, and read out loud, "Be sure to notice the wonders that surround you, or else you might miss them." "That's good advice," said Ben. "It really is," said Nora, placing the strip of paper on the tiny plate and taking a picture with her phone. Ben split his cookie in two and found his own strip of paper inside. Here's what it said: "Live each day as if it were your last." "Oh boy," said Ben, his mind devouring the wisdom like a black hole devours planets and stars. We're going to read chapter 2 as well.
Mostly because it's so short.
It's only 2 pages long. Hold tight.
And plus, I like how it looks.
Live each day as if it were your last. Ben thought about his fortune all the way home. He thought about it as he walked past the dining room table where his parents were still paying bills. He thought about it as he brushed his teeth, put on his pajamas, and got into bed. And then he dreamed about it. Everything was different now. Suddenly, a lifetime had become a single day.
End of chapter 2.
Hey, you guys, and you know what? There's a bunch more chapters. That's not the end. It goes on and on and on. There's cakes, there's jumping, there's cats, there's so much. Friends, the thing that I would like to share with you next.
What I want you guys to know is if you enjoyed that fabulous reading,
you can hear me read all of book 1
sonorous voice
and all of book 2.
Yes.
Penguin Random House asked me to be the audio actor narrator for this. And so I spent 3 days in the studio. Robbie came in at the end. We recorded an interview.
Look, I'm wearing the same sweater.
Oh
I
my
only
gosh,
have one
Robbie,
good looking sweater, you guys.
But I'm beholding it and it's so beautiful. So this is your chance to hear me voice an 8-year-old boy. You just got a sneak peek at that. An 8-year-old girl, a sassy 5-year-old, an incoherent toddler, and an 80-year-old woman with a vaguely British accent. So you guys, bring it on. Please.
I got to tell you, I still haven't gotten the nerve to listen to it.
I haven't listened to it yet either. I'm very afraid. So please listen to it and let us know if it's good. So before we go, we want you to know how to keep in touch with us.
All right.
Yes.
We're not going for a long time
We're not
yet.
going,
Yeah. But I don't know. Do we show these to you now? Write them down. Robbie and Matthew on YouTube.
We'll bring it up at the end.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, Robbie.and.Matthew.
You guys know how to find us.
Important.
If you ever type Robbie's name into anything, don't add an E. Don't add an E. ROBBI.
Yep.
If you add an E, you get taken to the website of a Canadian wedding band.
Yeah.
These guys look super fun.
No,
that's not us. That's not us, friends.
They don't want to talk to you about our books.
This is our website. On our website, you can write us an email if you guys have questions we don't cover tonight. If you think of a new question, go to the contact us, write us questions. We will write you back. We love to hear from you guys. Tonight, in fact, we're interested in helping cement the lesson of metaphorical language.
Hold on, I'm going to stop sharing.
I wrote you a song, my friends.
All right, we're back.
I thought it would be, Robbie.
What?
You told me
I told you not to lose your pick. And guess what happened?
Maybe my pick fell to the ground. How am I going to do this?
Here it is.
Robbie found my pick. All right. What did we say earlier? A simile is a piece of language using a like or as.
Wait, here we go.
All right.
Like or as.
Okay.
You guys, I'm going to try to put these up at the right time, but I'm terrible at that.
All right. But I want you to sing along because you learn things when you put them to song. Okay. In the same way that Proverbs are really catchy and memorable, this song will mean that you never forget similes ever again. So I want you guys to sing the chorus with me. Do it. We can't hear you. No need to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
William, Shanks, I want you to sing it. Jane, Alice, I want you to sing it. Do it. All right. Here we go. Catherine Harrison, I want you to sing it. I know you're a singer and a songwriter. Come on. I need some solidarity. So here we go.
This is called the Simile Song.
Simile Song by Matthew Swanson, performed with Robbi Behr. I'm sorry Robbi Behr isn't playing spoons tonight. She's an excellent spoons player.
I'm a terrible spoon player.
You could say what you mean and mean what you say, as in, I walked down the street today. Or you can add a few words and make it more spunky, as in, I walked down the street like a hungry monkey. Now, I'm not a monkey and I'm not even famished, but the way I was walking was a little outlandish, so I added some words to help you understand that I walk like a monkey and not like a man. If you take one thing and then you add another and use a like or as to hold them both together, you're happy as a clam or fuzzy like a sweater, because you made a simile and your sentence just got better. Now, using similes is like making a painting that you put in someone's head. Instead of just explaining, the painting tells the story of the way that you feel, or the thing that you saw, or your recent ordeal. You could take a long nap.
Or you can sleep like a
We're
log.
gonna go back, Robbi, Mr. Q. You could take a long nap.
Or you can sleep like a log.
You could chew while you're talking.
Or you can eat like a hog.
You could be really sneaky.
Or be sly as a fox.
You could eat your vegetables.
Or what?
Oh,
Somebody deleted the
that
line.
part of the song. And be strong as an
Like
ox.
an ox.
You could take one thing and then you add another and use it like a raz to hold them all together. You're happy as a clam or fuzzy like a sweater because you made a simile and your sentence just got better. So when you write your story or when you sing your song, please add a simile so we can come along and peek into your heart and look inside your head and get a chance to hear the things you never even said. If you take one thing and then you add another and use it like a raz to hold them both together, you're happy as a clam or fuzzy like a sweater because you made a simile and your sentence just got better. If you take one thing and then you add another and use it like a raz to hold them both together, you're happy as a clam or fuzzy like a sweater because you've made a simile and the whole world just got better. Like a slice of apple pie with a great big Robbi Behr sized big pile of ice cream on top. Oh, friends, thank you for singing with us. I don't know.
Yay.
I hope thank you. It is our great pleasure. And now, friends, it is time to get your paper, to get your pencil, to get your writing implement. You are going to learn how to draw our dog Dumbles.
Yes, not our dog Dumbles.
Oh, the dog
Ben's
Dumbles.
dog Dumbles.
There's just so many
There's
Dumbi. Is it a plural with a Dumbi?
Dumbles.
Oh, I see some of you not getting out paper and pencil. Come on now, everybody.
Paper and pencil.
None of you are too old to learn how to draw this dog.
Okay,
all right.
So
all right.
Hold on. I'm going to share my screen again.
All right, let's do it. I believe in you, Robbi. I believe in you, Robbi.
I think I can do it. Let's see. Did that work?
Yes.
All right. So here is how we're going to draw Dumbles.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to be drawing over here on this section.
Yeah.
But you can see the the steps over here. First thing we're going to do, we're going to draw a rounded W, you guys. It is not a butt. It is a rounded W.
Not a butt.
Not a butt.
Not a butt.
Not a butt.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody got their rounded W? Next.
What?
We're going to take a line. See here, we're going to take a line up from the left-hand side of the W and make a little bit of a sharp, this is what's called a hairpin turn.
Okay.
About to there.
Okay.
All right.
It's like part of a clothes hanger.
Part of a piece of a paper clip.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Then
Simple.
we're going to connect this with a curve that goes kind of straight across and then down to the other side of the non-butt, the W. All right, we're going to close it off like that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Then we're going to make another hairpin turn up here that matches the other one.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
You can do it.
All right. Next, this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky. On the middle of the W, we're going to make a little W. Well, it's not even a little W. What letter is that?
That's
Anyway,
not a letter, Robbi.
3 little lumps and then a circle around the top.
It's sort of like a loopy M.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, you could just make a circle there.
That's
but
true.
the actual Dumbles has little nostrils there.
Well,
Okay.
nose divots.
Nose divots.
Yeah.
All right, then you get to do a little bit of deciding of things. You can make his eyes like this over on either side, or let's see, or you can make him kind of sleepy by putting some U's over there, right? Or add some eyebrows, and then you can give him a mouth, little smiley face, and I put a little collar on him down here.
Okay. What about his little dog whiskers, Robbi?
Oh, yes. He doesn't, you know what? In the book, he doesn't have dog whiskers.
Well, because you can't really see
he
the
just
whiskers
has
until you're up
those
close.
little dots
Yeah.
that like where the whiskers grow out of. Now you can do, so also Dumbles in the book, he has a little spot on the top of his head. So you can make the spot, color in his nose because his nose is black. I mean, this took like 2 seconds, you guys.
You guys can do this.
You would think that I could illustrate this book a lot faster than I do. Oh, look at that Dumbles! Look at your great Dumbles!
All right, let's look at our friend's Dumbles.
Hold on,
you
wait.
gotta
I
show a
just
few more
want
things.
to show you guys. You can draw his little body attached to him, or draw it sideways. Like down here, you can,
And let me point something out. When
Yeah.
you're drawing a cartoon version of something like this,
Yeah.
the head is greatly exaggerated.
yes.
Okay. Obviously, a dog with a head that big would have many medical issues.
I mean, French bulldogs
Yeah.
do have many medical issues because their heads are so big.
That's true. But in this
Yeah.
particular case, the head is even more exaggerated.
But you
Who
can,
would call us in the
who's
middle of a launch
calling
event?
us? I mean,
That's
my goodness.
unacceptable.
So the other thing that you can do is you can change expressions with the way that the eyebrows are or the way that you draw the eyes. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Where is our phone, Matthew?
No, it'll stop soon.
Oh my
This
gosh.
Stumbles is doing yoga, right?
Yes.
This
Well, he's
Stumbles is-
meditating.
oh,
That's
he's-
why his eyes are like he's got
Very calm.
calm meditative eyes.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you can do
Okay.
this. All right, you guys can make little
Yes.
comics about Dumbles. You can make comics about whatever you want.
I'm going to stop sharing
Oh,
so that we can look at what everybody else has done.
all right. Show us your
Hold
Dumbles,
up
friends.
your Dumbles.
If
Is
you are
I
proud.
see Anna's Dumbles. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
You guys, I think I just need to maybe I don't want Catherine to see this because she's going to hire you
I
guys out
know.
to
It's-
illustrate the next book.
It's a real problem.
Man, you guys did
Oh,
great.
Look at this. I love
those.
these. You guys, you're gonna get high.
Oh, look, we got a body on there.
very nice. Thank
Right.
you, Catherine.
You
Good
guys did
work.
that awfully quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope you learned a lesson, which is that it's
Mhm.
actually pretty easy to draw. You just have to learn some simple shapes and put them
Yeah.
together.
You guys actually did way better than I did.
Robbie's self-esteem is
Yeah,
plummeting.
I know.
It's
I know.
just- yes.
Turns out my job isn't so hard after all. All right.
All right. Well, thank you
good
for
job,
drawing
everyone.
with us, friends.
All right. So now
This is the time.
this is when we get to the part where you guys get to talk.
This is
We've been talking this
it's-
whole time.
It's time. We need your contributions now, or we're
Yes.
just going to keep talking, and who knows what we might say.
No, look, we have all kinds of questions over in the chat.
Oh, we do. Okay, well, let's do
Um,
that.
all
Let's do
right.
that. All right.
All right. All right.
Hello.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Do you guys want
Oh.
me to feed the questions to you so you don't have to be reading the
Please, so
chat
that-
while you, it's totally up to you.
Please. It will make me
Okay.
feel like I'm on a talk show being interviewed. Please.
All right. Yes, I know. It's kind of fun.
It
I'll
is.
put on my best Tonight Show voice.
Thank you.
Actually, okay. First of all, I actually have a question for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
This is from me.
Okay.
You guys are living in a farmhouse with 4 children, working together and living together every day
When you put it like that, oh my goodness. But yes.
during a global pandemic.
Mhm.
I am living in this house with my husband and 3 children, also during a global pandemic. And I am just really annoyed by him every day. And he is really over me. And it's totally fair. I'm not even mad at him. How in the world are you guys making this work and still liking each other so much?
Well, I gotta say, we started out, we're pretty bad at not spending time with each other. So every
Aw.
job that Matthew's ever had, I've like latched on and gotten some similar job in the building next door or whatever. So that's part of our neurosis. I don't know what it is. We just
So you
spend
were
all-
used to working
we're
together.
just used
before
to being with each other all the time.
We're used to being at home with each other
Yes.
all day long. In
Yeah.
terms of the kids, I actually think I'm extremely glad that we have multiple kids in this time because
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
formed this nice little tribe and they've really looked after each other.
Yeah.
We have a 13-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 9-year-old that are all pretty tight. And then we have this wrecking ball of disaster named Jasper, who's 4 years old. And they are doing their best to raise his feral presence.
Yes.
But you know what? They're all in online school and they've been really we've been lucky is
Yes.
the answer.
Yes.
They've been really good at tending
Yeah.
to their own schedules. They treat each other kindly. We try to, take walks every evening if we can. We go on hikes on the weekends. We try to get outside when we can. But the other thing you mentioned that we spend this time together in Alaska every year. Our kids are used to spending 5 weeks off grid by themselves every
Having
summer.
to entertain themselves while we
So
work.
I think we've
So-
trained them pretty well for these
Yeah.
times.
You guys were uniquely prepared for this
Maybe.
time.
Sure. Who knew?
Maybe.
Who knew? Yes. Well, that's great. It is kind of fun to watch the kids form a tribe. That happened here too, and it's really great.
Yeah.
I hope that's happening out there for the rest of you because I think these kids are actually lucky in that regard
I do
as
too.
they grow up. All right, so now we're going to get to some audience questions.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's see. I have a couple questions that have been put in about your process. So let's
Okay.
start there. This is from Alice, and she says, Robbi, how do you make those pictures with your real heads on top of drawn bodies? I'm sorry. Oh, actually, that was from William.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Here's the deal. I tell Matthew,
Do you have that piece of art of like all of the heads?
I don't have it available at the
Okay,
moment. I should try to pull it up. Well, why don't you describe what I do? I'll try to find the
Okay,
piece
so
of art.
Robbi puts me against a wall and says, Matthew smiled, Matthew frowned, Matthew looked scared, Matthew looked like you're being chased by an alligator, Matthew looked like you just ate a lemon. And so I have to make all of these faces. And then she has about 50 different pictures of me that she puts on this big grid of Matthew faces. And whenever she wants to make a new slide for one of our presentations, she goes to the library of Matthew, picks the most appropriate place, uses Photoshop to put it on a white background, and then she draws a body around it.
Yes.
So it's kind of like collage.
It's all done on the computer though. So it's a lot, it goes pretty quickly.
And Robbi has done this. We have a library of about 500 of these.
Yes.
So whenever I write a new presentation, I go to the library first. We've been doing some interviews for the Cookie Chronicles launch, and I didn't have to have Robbi draw anything else because I already had a picture of us pulling a lever and making a machine that books come out of. And I already had Robbi bathing in a bathtub full of ice cream. I didn't need that. I had Robbi playing the bass in Led Zeppelin. I mean, we got it covered. We have a whole alternate bobblehead reality.
Matthew, in order to, like, before he writes a presentation for us, he actually draws on, like, he likes to make me draw as little as possible, which
so I go to the library. Yeah. I
can't pull it up because for some reason.
No worries. No.
All right. Sorry.
You guys really have your bases covered. That's very cool.
We've been doing this for 15 years. So over the years,
we just keep collecting things.
Go master library.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from N. Schaffer.
Okay.
And they asked, how do you know how to put the images on the page in a creative way? Great question.
I tell you, you know, in the presentation, Matthew talks about how his process is a little bit of a mystery. He just writes and writes, and then eventually something comes out. I do a lot of shuffling around. Like, one thing that I do know when I lay out, so I design the pages of the book as well. So one thing that I do know is I know how many words have to go on each page in order for me to fit the size of the book. So like Catherine will say, you have 320 pages, it has to fit in 320 pages or else. She never said
she
that.
doesn't. She's so nice.
Super nice.
She's we're making her out to be such an ogre. But, you know.
so I know, like, so then I take Matthew's words and I say, okay, we have umpty 1,000 words. I have to fit 100 words on a page. And so then I divide the book into 100-word chunks. And then I have to figure out what part of that 100 words is the thing that I want to illustrate most. And then there's a lot of shuffling around. Then I have to be like, oh, I want it to be in the left-hand corner. And then my art director, April, says, you know what? It shouldn't be in the left-hand corner. It should be in the right-hand corner. So then I have to organize everything back the other way and shuffle everything around and fix it. So it's a long process. So I don't know. Like, I wish that I could just instantly see what would work best. And I don't. I have to, like.
But so when I write the first version of the book, I write it and I give it to Robbi, and Robbi gives me her feedback, and she always has really smart things to say.
Oh.
You guys should know that no writer ever writes a book by him or herself.
Yes.
They always get help. They always get feedback. You never write it perfectly the first time. Don't feel bad if people have criticisms for your writing. That's how it works. I give it to Robbi. She makes it better. Then I give it to Catherine, and Catherine reads it, and Catherine gives me all sorts of notes. She asks me all sorts of questions. She tells me the things that are working well, and she asks me questions that help me figure out the parts I still need to develop. Robbi does the exact same thing. She goes through the entire book, and she does sketches, which are very loose, incomplete drawings, so that April can get an idea of what she's thinking before she fully develops, because making the final versions takes a long time.
Yeah, so you don't want to waste a lot of time. I don't want to waste a lot of time making something perfectly beautiful if April is going to say, you know what, that's actually not the passage, that's not the part that should be illustrated on this page. You should actually illustrate the elephant. Then I've wasted all my time drawing a dinosaur, right? So so the way that there's a lot of back and forth. So it's the same thing as with writing. Illustrators don't get it right the first time, right? Nobody gets it right the first time. It's easy to think that this is a process that happens really easily and the pros know how to do it just intuitively. That is not true. Like, everybody has to go through a whole bunch of back and forth.
Getting it right the first time would not be as interesting as sending your words to a really smart person and having them help you understand even better what you can get out of your story. I always love getting my feedback from Robbi or from Catherine, because invariably they add something that makes the story better. Your best story can't live inside your own head. You need other people's input to make the best version. I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that.
Matthew's a very good sport about feedback.
No,
I am slightly less of a good sport about feedback.
Better. Makes you better. It makes you better.
It does.
It is really great advice, actually. Yeah. So I love that. All right. This is from Kristen Hem, and she
Hi,
says,
Kristen.
will there be more Moxie books in the future?
Well, here's the story about
Yes.
that. So The Real McCoys is a trilogy that we wrote and created over the past few years. And I did, because I'm a compulsive writer, I can't stop. I wrote the 4th book in the Real McCoys series. It's called Moxie Meets Her Match, and it's about a new detective moving to town who thinks he's the greatest detective, and he and Moxie get all at it like that. So anyway, but books are a business, you guys. Books only get published if the publisher thinks that they can sell enough copies of the book to make enough money. It's a business. And that doesn't mean it's not also art, but it's an art-based business. So our hope is, as Ben Yokoyama gets out into the world and we sell lots of cookie books, that there will be more interest in the Real McCoys, and there maybe can be a book for it at some point. But right now, we're focused on making 5 books in the Cookie Chronicles series. And I'm already thinking ahead to what I want to write after that. There's going to be 5. So we're very excited about that. We have
Everybody,
that's great.
thank Catherine for having the foresight to get 5 books from us. Yay, Catherine.
That's really exciting. Okay, so I'm building on the Moxie McCoy question. I'm going to put 2 questions together here that came in from Peter and Alice. And those are, will Ben and Janet ever meet up with Moxie and Milton? And do they exist in the same universe?
That's a fantastic question.
And
I'm already thinking,
what would happen if Janet and Moxie met?
I think the world might literally explode. I don't think Janet and Moxie could exist in the same space, but
my gosh.
It's a good question. I love that question. I don't know if I had to tell you, it's probably not what you want to hear. I think that's probably not going to happen. They live in different parts of my brain. They inhabit different parts of my being. I think they need to have their own universes, but I love thinking about that.
Multiverse up there.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
All right, this is another Milton question from N. Schaffer again. Why doesn't the bug named after Milton have an N in it?
Holy cow. I don't know. What? It's the Milto Major. I just thought it sounded cooler. I don't know. Here's the thing about names. I often don't think about names. Names are very intuitive. And here's another funny thing about names. I have never named a book that I wrote. It is always the editors who end up coming up with the names for the books. You might think that
you didn't come up with Cookie of Doom?
No, Catherine came up with Cookie of Doom. She totally did. She also came up with Cookie Chronicles. We originally thought it should be called One Smart Cookie, but we had a long back and forth with Catherine. There was some consternation, but she's totally right. I mean, she's right.
I like Cookie Chronicles. Yeah,
and editors are super smart, you guys. They know what they're talking about. So no,
a little clever. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we've gotten a couple requests from people asking if you could put the Dumbles instructions up on your website.
Yeah. Sure, I have I actually have the link for you. I can put it in the chat.
Great.
We have on our website, friends, a section called Fun Stuff, where there are about 25 different activities like Dumbles. There's a secret handshake developer. There are various books that you can make and fold and sort of self-publish.
I just realized when I checked on it today that it's difficult to actually download. You have to just tell it to print the screen, which is annoying. There's not a print button. I'm going to try to fix that. But in the meantime, just know that you'll have to do a little wangling to get them to print.
Oh my gosh, wangling. These guys can handle it.
I know
they
you
can.
guys are smart people.
We can wangle.
Yeah, we can.
And then Alice asked, will there be Dumbles merch?
Well, I sure hope so. Let's see if we can get someone on that. Is there anyone on this call that can get some Dumbles merch? Well, I hope so. Hey, I think probably my guess is that the book series would have to have a certain degree of commercial success for that to happen. So let's hope so.
Yeah. Well, that means get those orders on, guys. So we can get some Dumbles merch. I need a Dumbles on my desk.
I have been known to do a little zazzling, make some mugs and stuff with stuff on there.
Yeah.
Alice, I might give you a little inside scoop.
Yeah, if anybody wants to make a plush Dumbles and send it to us, we wouldn't mind that. Yeah, we'll put that on our Instagram for sure. That would be great. There are all sorts of cool things that can happen with books. Books can get turned into TV shows or movies. Books can get turned into graphic novels. Books can spin off other books. I mean, there's lots of things that books can become, but usually the common thread is they have to develop a following and there have to be lots of readers and sell lots of copies. So you guys, if you like our books, really one of the most helpful things you can do is share our books with your friends. Talk to your librarians and your teachers about our books, because word of mouth, there are 50,000 individual titles of books published every year. So one of the real challenges, in addition to writing a good book and illustrating a good book, is just getting your book noticed. So for us, we like to go visit schools. We like to do things like this. We love to connect with readers and help introduce our books to people, because the book can't do its work unless it gets in the hands of you guys. You're the whole point of this. We love making it, but we love making it because we want you to read it. So help us get the word out if you can. Yeah.
Definitely share them with your friends and tell your friends to tell their parents to go get more copies. I love it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It benefits everybody. Okay, so we've got 2 more left, and I think we've got just about enough time to get through them before we have to end here. This one is from Catherine Harrison.
Oh.
She says, where can I snag a copy of Nasty Chipmunk?
Oh, well, now Nasty Chipmunk is maybe not appropriate for all viewers on this program, but it is a book that we wrote under the imprint Idiots Books. For about 10 years, we published what we called odd, commercially non-viable picture books for adults, which are picture books for adults. Kids shouldn't have all the fun. So we wrote a book called Nasty Chipmunk about a very unpleasant rodent who does all sorts of mean things.
Here's your copy, Catherine.
Catherine, I believe.
It's headed your way.
I think Catherine owns a copy of Nasty Chipmunk. I think we didn't give it to you in your box of books. We might have.
Look,
all right.
Nasty blows up the forest with his bazooka.
And he puts a salt lick in the middle of the highway. He's really rude.
Yeah,
so
no good.
Catherine, if you do not have this book, we will send it to you. You must have it.
Am I unmuted? Or
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I think it's in the office, locked away from me.
All right. We will send you a pandemic copy to share.
Oh, no.
Catherine, is that your mom? Is that your mom?
This is my mom's
Hello,
son.
Catherine's mom. It's so nice to meet you.
I adore your books. I'm trying to figure out a way to read the Cookie of Perfection.
Oh, well, I think you know somebody who could get your hands on an early copy of the PDF. So you did a very fine job in that TikTok, I must say. It was quite an extraordinary piece of art.
That was my debut performance.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Catherine's mom. So nice to meet you. All right, Carrie, what's our final question?
Always nice to meet a TikTok star. Okay, we're going to end on a high note. This one is also from Catherine. She asked, and we want to give the people what they want here, guys. She asked, can you do a quick sample of the 80-year-old woman with the British accent?
Robbi hasn't heard this before.
I haven't. I'm a little scared.
Catherine, have you heard the books yet? I haven't listened to them yet. No. Oh, okay.
I gotta say, whenever Matthew reads to the kids, the voices are very inconsistent. We're always being corrected because we forget what voice we did. So how much did the person have to correct you? How often?
Oh gosh, I had to go back to the studio, but they said I made very few mistakes. That's the funny thing. I had to go back and fix 19 mistakes that I made after the oh gosh, what kind of
and that was very few?
That was very few. They were stunned at how few mistakes, because I think they corrected me a lot as I went along. It's funny, in recording an audiobook, every single page you stop 4 or 5 times. Apparently my stomach was too noisy, so I had to keep getting, my stomach kept speaking, it kept saying things. Apparently I burp a lot when I'm reading. I mean, I was making like wet lip sounds. There's a whole vocabulary of communicating with audio actors about how bad they're doing. Oh, this is very, very hard.
There she is.
All right. All right. It does, said Ben, who didn't think it sounded reasonable at all. Yes, it certainly does. But Mrs. Ezra paused, as if she'd remembered hearing something extremely important. I don't feel like I got the right. I'm afraid that's private, said Mrs. Ezra, as mysteriously as possible. What do you think, Robbi?
Mrs. Ezra sounds like a butler. What's going on?
I think the problem is Mrs. Ezra has to surprise you, because you think, I don't want to give it away.
Oh, yes.
You think she's one thing and she becomes something else. So I'm afraid I didn't do my best, Mrs. Ezra. I need to warm up to it. It requires
we all liked it for what it's worth.
It requires some lemons. I mean, it requires
See, you're getting applause. You're getting applause.
Well done, Matthew. Well done.
Even if that's
I think it was a great, especially considering we sprang in on you on the fly. So
I want you to get the audiobooks and really get the full glory of the Mrs. Ezra. I feel like I'm disappointed. We'll have to do another launch event. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Catherine's mom. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kristen Hem.
Yes.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Shanks.
We see April on there. April Ward.
April. All right, everybody, give a shout
to the book designer. She designed the cover.
Those gorgeous covers. Oh my gosh, we're so lucky. Thank you, April.
Yeah, those covers are great.
Love working with you guys. All right, more to come. Thank you, friends. Keep
More
in
to
touch.
come. We can't wait. We'll do this again when 3, 4, and 5 come out. So
Yes.
it's so exciting.
Yes.
And also, since you guys mentioned audiobooks, I just want to throw it out there because I always do. And those of you who come to these events to hear me go on and on about it, but Libro.fm is an audiobook provider that allows you to order audiobooks through independent bookstores instead of going to that big other place that's online.
Right.
And you actually get to keep your audiobooks afterwards. You own the audio file. So that is another reason that I love it. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Can you put a link in the sidebar? I'd love to be able to share that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they are incredibly generous. They support us in lots of ways as just the business in general. As a matter of fact, like when we all had to shut our doors for the shutdown, 100% of their proceeds, they split across all of their independent bookstores that they support. They raised money for booksellers, independent booksellers all Christmas. They're just an amazing company. And I just find it very easy to use their site too. And their, it's just a simple app and it's so easy to manage it. And they also give like tons of free audiobooks to educators. So like if anyone on here is a teacher tonight, you can go ahead and contact me, call Anderson's and ask for Carrie, and I can get you hooked up with free audiobooks for your classroom every month. They're amazing. So I just can't say enough good things. So I just want to put that there. I always do. And on that note, we are just about to end here. And I just wanted to thank everybody so much for coming. Again, your support right now just means everything to us and it's keeping us going. And hopefully next time for number 3, we'll be in person.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Hopefully. Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.
Stay
safe.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
We really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Good night.